Legend of Total War here, and today we're doing another Total War Warhammer 3 Immortal Empires campaign review, this time covering Kholek Suneater. So, Kholek Suneater starts his campaign in between Dragon's Death and the Challenge Stone being his first possible Dark Fortress site. As soon as you capture this, the Dolgan Norskins will become your vassal. You are north of the Mountains of Morn, and the closest enemy legendary lord for you to encounter is Grimgor Ironhide. I wouldn't say that this is an overly difficult campaign. Typically speaking, none of the Warriors of Chaos campaigns are difficult, because the Warriors of Chaos right now are incredibly strong. They've got a really good roster, you're able to just pick up troops whenever you want, they're quite wealthy. Grimgor Ironhide doesn't know what's about to hit him, in the command of the player's hands. Now, Kholek Suneater's campaign revolves around obtaining as many vassals as possible to really feed into his Heralds of the Tempest ability, empowered by worship. Kholek gains 5% weapon strength, mass, and armor for each currently vassalized faction. Now, there is another, it's really not that important, there is another stat that gets improved. Apparently, for every vassal that you have, Kholek's size on the campaign map will actually increase by 1%. Now, this doesn't impact on gameplay at all, but, having him be a complete giant is funny to look at, I suppose. Now, explaining about some of these stats and how they're important and also when they become irrelevant. So the way to look at it in terms of 5%, remember that 5% is always on his base. So if we look at him right now at level 1, this is all of his base stats. So that means for every 20 vassals you get, that's when his base stats are going to double. So for every 20 vassals, you'll gain 540 weapon strength. So you'll gain an additional 135 base weapon, 405 armor-piercing weapon damage. I'm really not sure if that increases his bonus versus large, to be honest. In terms of his armor, obviously you just get an extra 95 armor. Now, thing to note about armor is that once you've reached 200 armor, there's no point getting any more, because at 200 armor, you are guaranteed to block 100% of all non-armor piercing damage, whether it be magical or physical damage. Now, going over the armor ranking of 200 only really serves a purpose if you're getting hit by sundering attacks or by some sort of attack that's reducing your armor below 200. That's the only time going over 200 is of any value. Apart from that, having high armor value beyond 200 seems to have some value in auto resolve, which is not that valuable. In terms of mass, every time you get 20 vassals, you will gain 6,000 extra mass. Now, there is a point to which having, 100,000 mass is kind of unimportant. You'll be able to push aside pretty much anything. But it's interesting watching Kholek just bowl everything over. So that's the main sort of drive for playing as the Heralds of Tempest, to get Kholek Suneater to be a one-man Doomstack. That's how it's sort of geared towards going. That, and it's easier for him to get access to Dragon Ogres, which they're not that difficult to get in the first place, so that's just something that is going for his campaign. In terms of his tech tree, he's just got the standard undivided tech tree that the other undivided legendary lords like Archaon and Be'lakor have. Same thing with the Gifts of Chaos, except that Kholek Suneater is unable to confederate the other Warriors of Chaos legendary lords, which in my opinion leaves his campaign to be a little bit inferior compared to Archaon and Be'lakor's, because in my opinion, and this is just from my personal experience, I do enjoy confederating the other legendary lords. Now, Kholek Suneater boosts Dragon Ogres by a lot, specifically Dragon Ogre Shaggoths. But the problem here is that he can only fit 6 Dragon Ogre Shaggoths in his army when playing as a Herald of Tempest. But if you want to get Kholek Suneater a full stack of Shaggoths, then you have to actually play as Be'lakor and confederate Kholek Suneater. So for Kholek Suneater to reach his Doomstack max potential, you got to play a different faction. But if you want to make him a one-man Doomstack, then you got to play Herald of Tempest. It just depends on how you want to go about it. You can still create divided characters within his undivided thing, so you can create Khorne Lords, Sinch units, whatever you want to do with that, but the ability to confederate the other legendary lords is disabled from you. So I think this is an alright campaign. I think that's an interesting faction ability, to see him get larger and get stronger based on vassalizing factions, but I don't think this is anywhere near as interesting as the other Legendary Lords, so it's entirely up to you. Could be good for a bit of a laugh on a short campaign sort of thing. So in terms of the sweet spot for difficulty, I'd probably play this on maybe hard difficulty, just because you're not really going to have a challenge anyway, but going through it on hard difficulty will allow you to get through the campaign a little bit quicker than if you're playing on Legendary, allowing you to sort of get to see Kholek Sun-Eater at his maximum potential quicker as you establish your vassals faster. But at the end of the day, it all depends on you. If you want to play on Legendary, go play on Legendary. If you want to play on Easy, go play on Easy. But I think the sweet spot for fun is probably hard difficulty, just so you can get through the campaign at a reasonable pace. Anyway, that's the end of this one here, guys. Let me know in the comments below whether you like or dislike the reviews. Let me know which Legendary Lord you'd like me to cover next. Hope you enjoyed the little joke at the start. Yesterday, I just forgot to change the name of the title. That's all it was. Anyway, appreciate you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.